What is up, folks? Welcome back to the YouTube. So in today's video we are looking at the off-season testing. This is covering all things from strength, power, speed, endurance. I've tested it all, and I want to take you along with me throughout that process and give you a look at where I'm currently, where I'm sitting in all of these categories, and ultimately what I want to achieve over the next 8 to 12 weeks and set some goals for myself. So hopefully you enjoy this video. If you do, make sure you like, subscribe, everything like that. Would really appreciate it. But let's get into it and enjoy the video. Okay, what is the crack? So I am going to do some of my power testing for the off season. I'm going to start with a counter movement jump. Then I'm going to go into some single leg counter movement jumps and then finish up with the reactive jump. This again is early on in the off season. I want to get a baseline of where I'm at, and then in another 8 to 12 weeks I'll test again, see how I'm going to improve. So yeah, I'm going to start off with get some data, get some numbers first and foremost, and take from there. Okay, so out of my 3 counter movement jumps, out of my 3 counter movement jumps, I got today was 45.82 centimeters. It's okay. I would like to get that up. Previous best that I have here is 47 point. Let me see if that autofocuses. Okay, that's not going to autofocus. So previous best that I got was 47.02, and I would like to get back up there. Plus, definitely, I would like to hit close to the 50 mark. I think I can over the next couple of weeks once I stick to this program and stick with it. So yeah, that's the goal, to try and get close to around 48, 49 centimeters and on the counter movement jump. And that's going to be the plan of attack. That will be done through improving my short stretch cycle, so my eccentric to concentric movements. I'm getting more efficient at that, more explosive in that, so that will be through getting stronger in them ranges, and also then just training like that with loads of different jumps, explosive movements. And yeah, so that's where I'm at in terms of my double leg counter movement jump. We have 24.88. Again, bit of room to improve. I'd like to see that maybe plus 26 over the next while, but yeah, solid enough start. Total flight time was 0.45. Again, would like to get that up to 0.50. It's around the elite level to get that to 0.50. And yeah, we'll see if there's any differences side to side. It's fairly common whenever you have plenty of injuries like myself that there's a bit of discrepancies side to side, so let's hope there's not too big of one. Right is coming out at 24.53 and left is coming out at 24.88, so very consistent both sides, so I'm happy enough with that. Luckily there's not too big of a deficit side to side, so we don't have to tidy up that, but just overall I want to get that level up to around that 26 mark or 30 mark. And yeah, that's the single leg counter movement jumps, and now we're going to do some reactive jumps. So this will be measuring our total flight time, total contact time, our overall stiffness and power. So this is really useful for how long you can spend on the ground, how long you can spend in the air, and really being as stiff and as explosive as possible. So let's see what I get. active jumps. We are hitting contact time is 0.18, which is happy with. Anything under 0.2 is considered pretty good. And then on flight time is 0.48. Would like to get that above 0.5. That again is the elite standard, so I'm going to aim for that now. I hit one or two that was over 0.5, but the average across the jumps was 0.48. So big focus on trying to get that average up. So plenty to do over the next while. The next couple of weeks are big weeks in terms of improving our strength and our power. But yeah, I would like to see across the board all of them going up. So now we're going to do some speed testing, 10 meters. Let's see how we get on. So I'm just about to do my speed testing, 10 meters, as fast as I can. See what I can get. Again, this is just baseline, so whatever I get will be just interesting to have there as data, and then I can try and improve on it over the next while with the amount of speed work I'm doing. So let's hope for relatively decent score. I don't know what. Probably look to get. Jesus, you definitely can't see me there. Look for under the 2.5 second mark, I think, and then we'll see from there. Let's go. Last one was 2.25. Okay, solid enough. Definitely could do a bit of an improvement, but let's try and aim to get that below 2.2 down to 2.1. Be nice. Yeah, that's the goals. So yeah, that's the testing wrapped up. I have to get a Bronco done now as well, and we'll do that probably tomorrow alongside my running, or as my running session, and then my strength testing. I'll be assessing that as we go as well. So yeah, good morning's testing, good baseline established. Again, it's so important for athletes to get these baseline numbers, because without them you don't know if you're improving. You need that objective data. That's what we do with all of our boys in the academy, and it is vital to everything then we do in our programming, etc., because everything's aimed with improvement. That is what high performance is about. So yeah, good morning's done, and savage weather here. Okay, so that is our testing week wrapped up. We tested our strength, power, speed and endurance. So a full picture view of where I'm at, and that is 2 weeks into my off-season prep. So as expected, a bit off where I want to be in all aspects of it. But that's exactly the point of your off-season testing, or your baseline testing in general. It's to get a picture of where you're at and see just the objective data on all of them characteristics. Because then once you have them numbers there, you can see, right, okay, now I know exactly where I need to improve and how I'm going to get there. So this is why we do it with all of our athletes and why it's so important, because of that reason. It gives you some clear feedback of where you're at currently, but then also where you want to get to. So as I said, across the board, a lot of my data was, or a lot of my results were good, but definitely need improving. So in terms of my power outputs, like say my counter movement jump, my single leg jumps, definitely could do it at least five centimeters improvement on them. And that's just in terms of jump height, which will then result in bigger power outputs and relative power outputs. But I think the big thing with power is looking at, as I touched in that video on how to improve your own power, is going to be looking at the short stretch cycle. Okay, so trying to improve them components of that cycle, which is going to be your eccentric, your isometric, and your concentric. If we can get more efficient in each of them ranges and each of them training actions, then that will result in us getting more powerful on the field. So in my first block of training, I am focusing on or the bigger focus or the bigger emphasis is on eccentric training and eccentric strength. So getting really strong in them lengthened ranges, because this is quite difficult to do in season, because eccentric training is quite a demanding aspect and can give you a lot of DOMs and a lot of soreness. So I'm dedicating this block to that and getting really strong in them eccentric ranges, because then if we can get stronger in that range of motion or in that type of training, then that will mean that we'll be able to transition or transmute that eccentric force into a greater concentric force, which is the lifting off the weight, or the lift, or the propelling yourself forward. So we need both of them to be strong. And that's why I'm putting a big emphasis on the eccentric style training now at the minute. Alongside that, then you're going to just want to improve your strength, which I'll touch on now as well with my own data. But improving your strength will help in terms of improving your power, but then also doing dedicated power work. So working in that 30 to 60% range, or that percentage of your 1 rep max. So using that range there to train specifically for power, and that's what I'm putting a big emphasis on as well, alongside my eccentric strength and rate of force development. That's going to be a big focus now going forward, to try and get them numbers up. You know, I was sitting at, for my double leg counter movement jump, 45.8. I want to see that coming up closer to 50 centimeters, and that will be, you know, a good off season if I can get that up to 50 centimeters or close to it at least. In terms of my reactive times, they're okay. Again, I would, as I said in the video, I want to get that up above 0.50. So my total flight time and my contact time was below 0.20, which is good. So it is 0.8 or 18, sorry, 0.18. So why is that important? Well, if you can spend less time on the ground and more time in the air, then you can travel more distance in a shorter period of time. So having a good flight time and a short ground contact time is really key indicators for our speed and power on the field. So trying to improve them is a really good index for our explosiveness on the field. And that's why we do it with all of our athletes, because it has such a big impact on the field. And if we can improve these, we always see that reflecting in our performance on the field. So trying to get that flight time up, and that will come as a byproduct of, you know, working on the components there that I talked about earlier. But then your total contact time will come as a result of improving our overall limb stiffness, so, and our robustness in our lower limbs. So our ankle, knee stiffness, doing the likes of our pogo hops, our jumps, ballistic movements, all of them will help give us more resilience around them joints, and improve that overall stiffness, because we want them joints to be stiff, that they can handle them high loads while you're running and spring back. So overall, it's going to just, in an easy way to put it, it's going to make you more springy on the field if we're a stiff athlete. So that's why I want to improve them. So onto the strength testing. So starting out with our front squat, I am sitting at 80 by 4. So I only do, I didn't really do a 1RM test. I just used predicted measures. So our top set at baseline was 80 by 4 for a front squat. As I said to you, I want to try and get that up to 100 by 4 or 100 by 5. And that's going to be what I'm focusing on. And that will come just by week on week trying to improve either by 1 rep or by a 2.5 kilo plate. That's usually how I'm working things in terms of progressive overload. And then just being in making sure that I'm fueling my sessions, having enough energy in my body so that I can actually pursue them strength goals, because trying to get stronger and trying to improve our strength in the gym while you're in a deficit is going to be a lot harder. So I am just sitting above caloric maintenance, and I want to keep my body weight very, very in that lean gaining phase. So just ever so slightly dipping into a calorie surplus. I'm not pushing things really, really hard. But again, I'm up at 3,500 now. So I started off at 3,000 to 3,200 and now up to 3,500. So pushing things on ever so slightly. Body composition is reflecting that, and weight is gradually going up. I'm aiming for about a 0.2 to 0.5 kilo gain per week. So nice and gradual, okay? In terms of bench press, obviously that's usually the main test that we would do, but again, I am only working off dumbbells at the minute, so I'm sitting at 30 kilos for 8 on our dumbbell bench. Again, plenty of room for improvement. I can try and get that up. That's obviously at higher reps as well. So I would be expecting, if I was going for around three reps, probably up at somewhere around 42, 45 kilos. So what I want to aim for, if I am still on dumbbell, is trying to get that up close to 50 kilos for around 3 to 5 reps. And that will be a good indicator of my strength, my upper body strength improvements, okay? On to our speed and our endurance. My speed was for 13 meters, so I was just using the lines on the pitch, and that was a 13-meter speed test, and I got 2.5 seconds. Again, plenty of room for improvement there. Not bad. My speed is always okay. It's not the best it can be, but it's always an area that I really want to improve on, and that is one of my stronger areas in the game. But I still feel like there's a lot more to give, because over the last 2 years I've had opportunities, I've had different injuries that stop me from improving these areas, like just constant repetition on speed work. It's always been interrupted, whether it's been an injury or a setback or whatever. It's always gotten in the way. Whereas now I have a clean bill of health, hopefully for a while, and I can just have a full block where I'm improving that speed work and see the results out the back end. Because as I said, the last time I've had that is COVID time, and I did see nice improvements off the back of that. Finally then, our endurance testing. So that was a 1,300 meter test. So I did say I was going to do a Bronco, but then I forgot the trundle wheel to measure out the exact 20, 40, 60. So I just used the lines on the pitch, and that is meaning that I was out 21 back, out 45 back, out 65 back. So an extra 100 meters there in total. And that was, I don't know if that is reflective in the time, because it's still quite high. I got 540, and as I said in the previous, or on my stories actually, my Bronco PB was 437, 436. So plenty of room for improvement, even though that is 100 meters extra. I definitely could get that down, and trying to get that down now in the next block, below 5 minutes at least, because that is a eye-opening eye-opening stat for myself, and it's reflective of the last couple of months where I've been out injured, and the way it has been with the end of the season now with my shoulder, not being able to run. That definitely opened my eyes to where I'm at currently, and I think it's good, because that's given me a new drive now. Definitely that's probably the overarching factor that I want to improve on. And in this block, in this off-season block, we're looking at an accumulation block. So looking at that aerobic base. And then we'll be moving into more high intensity, regular training in the next block. So that's when we'll be really going after that. So it would be interesting to see now in about 2 to 3 months where I'm sitting on that and how that has come on. So hopefully I'm aiming for 450 or below if I can, and really drive that on. So yeah, that's a full picture of where we're at. Hopefully you got some value, you got an insight into where I am sitting in my testing and how you could do your own as well, and try and improve your stats over the off season as well. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks very much.